Oh, beautiful throw, great catch.
Gorgeous on both ends. So the Bills lead 30-26, and you're thinking, here we go. Great game, but that's going to be it. 11 seconds left. Cardinals near midfield. We've got a Hail Mary. Kyler Murray extending the play and does this. Wait, what?
Oh, my goodness.
What?
4 Buffalo Bills around him. He goes up and catches this thing.
Yeah, but all you need is one DeAndre Hopkins, and he does.
Hopkins just mossing people.
Unbelievable. The Cardinals stun the Bills 32-30. Card safety Buddy Baker with Ed Werder after.
Context, I mean, 1 minute, Patrick Peterson gets beat for what appears to be the game-winning touchdown, and then on a desperation throw, Kyler Murray to DeAndre Hopkins in the end zone. All I was thinking about for Kyler was just
getting in there. Getting in there. I honestly, I don't know how D-Hop caught that. I'm so blessed that he's on our team. We got the W. It was ugly, but we got the W.
How do you assess what you did on defense for the most part? I mean, Josh did drive down at the end of the game and put his team ahead with a touchdown pass to Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, man, Josh is a great quarterback. You saw him. We could have had 10 sacks, but that man is so big, we couldn't get him down, and they did a great job scoring on us. But in the second half, we really kind of put it to them, and they did a really good job of getting that touchdown, and thankful for our Cardinal offense.
To go through that play one more time because it was so remarkable. I mean, it's going to be on the Hall of Fame highlight film for both of those guys, I think.
Oh, man.
Kyler running hard to his left, over by your sideline. Basically just decides he's got to get it up in the air, like you said, and he throws it up, and Hopkins is covered by three Bills and out jumps all of them.
Man.
How does he make that play, and what was your perspective as it happened?
Yeah, my perspective was I was on the left sideline, so I'm seeing Kyler rush to the left, and I'm like, please, just throw it. He threw it. All I see is D-Hop's big hands, you know, them 4X size gloves, got the ball, Cards win.
How much of a change has Hopkins brought to this team with what he's done on offense?
Man, he's brought that X factor, you know. We have a lot of X factors, but D-Hop is that X factor, and you guys saw that today.
Go celebrate. You got Russell Wilson coming in
Yes,
next.
sir, Thursday.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Have a good one.
How about that? Ed Werder already has Hopkins and Kyler Murray in the Hall of Fame. He said that's going to be on their Hall of Fame tape. I want to start with you, Tim. Just how does what we saw in that last play of the game happen? What'd you see?
Well, here's what's interesting. It's actually not a Hail Mary. With 11 seconds left in the game on the Buffalo 43-yard line, they're running a play to get some more yards, probably to have a better shot at the end zone, you know, on the next play. And so this really just ends up being Kyler Murray escaping out to his left, seeing Hopkins, and then giving Hopkins a chance. You know, so with 11 seconds left from the 43, you're not in Hail Mary mode. It ends up kind of just being a jump ball, 1 versus 3, as Budda Baker just talked about. As you see it here, they weren't running all of their, you know, eligibles into the end zone. They were trying to get a chunk play, hopefully get out of bounds, and then have a shot probably from inside the 30-yard line or so. But instead, because Kyler Murray's ability to escape, he escapes out to his left and it just finds a way to get the ball all the way down there, and DeAndre Hopkins just continues to work for his quarterback. So it clearly is not how Cliff Kingsbury had it dialed up, but I think that's just kind of one of the things about, you know, coaching guys that are really good players. Sometimes it's not about the play that's called. It's about that guy stepping up and making a play in a critical moment. And, you know, Hall of Fame or not, whatever Ed Werder is saying, for Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins, they just played better than anybody else could play on that particular snap.
I felt like the Tootsie Roll, Al. We were counting how many Bills defenders were around Hopkins. How does that happen, Nink?
Oh, man, I'm telling you, it looked like the Buffalo Bills weren't in their final play defense, because usually there's a guy that's boxing out. There's a specific jump guy that you want to jump for that ball, and everybody's going for the football. That's a do not do that at the end of the game, because when everyone's going for that ball, you saw that it was a mistimed jump, and everyone mistimed their jump. Hopkins got up the highest and came down with it. But even if that ball was tipped in the air, you saw an Arizona Cardinal right there that could potentially have caught the ball if it was tipped up in the air. So I didn't think Buffalo was in their final play defense. You could tell that because they didn't box out that guy. They didn't have a guy on the goal line there. So they're going to watch this play, and they're going to be sick when they watch that play. Because they had an opportunity there to stop that play from happening. And Hopkins, at the end of the day, it's their best player. jump ball, he goes and gets it, and hats off to Arizona. They had a heck of a game plan in the end of that game there.
It was the latest go-ahead passing touchdown for a Cardinals team since Josh McCown and Nate Poole in 2003. Cliff Kingsbury, right? That's bananas. Cliff Kingsbury now, new on SportsCenter, him talking about that miraculous, you could say, play.
If you've said even this week how some of the catches you see Hopkins make are just so wild. You see so many of them too. Where does this one even rank?
It has to be the biggest one of his career, maybe. I don't know. He's phenomenal. I went out of that game last week regretting we didn't get it to him in crunch time, or try to get it to him in crunch time more. We had a good talk this week, and I've never been a part of one of those, so still kind of at a loss for words. But what a phenomenal play.
Hey, Cliff, what can you say about Kyler's game? He obviously is huge rushing touchdown to bring you back and then win the game with his arm.
Yeah, he's playing at a ridiculous level right now. I think y'all have seen it the last few weeks after that first month. Offensively, I feel like we've really settled in and mixing in tempo, and he's taking care of the ball, making great decisions, whether it's with his feet, with his arm. It's fun to watch. I mean, he's making us right on a lot of plays.
Hey Cliff, it turned out good at the end. The two previous drives when you ended up going with passing the ball, was that a look? Was that because of the look that Buffalo gave you guys that forced you into the pass, or was that by design initially?
Yeah, by design. We wanted to be aggressive in that situation, try to get the ball to Hop on some one-on-ones, and got to give Buffalo credit there.
Next up, please, Cam, Bob, and Catherine.
Hey, Cliff, just what was your vantage point of the final play, and then how tough is that throw and that catch to make?
Just to get the pass off was incredible. If you watch the replay, I mean, he's running and dodging and ducking, and I didn't think he'd get it off. And then to put that type of loft on it and give him a chance, and my vantage point, I couldn't see much, but I saw the crowd go crazy and just kept asking our guys did he catch it, and they were going nuts up top.
Cliff, how happy are you to avoid overtime the way things worked out, and how happy are you to share first place in the NFC West?
Yeah, I mean, if overtime would have been what it took, that's what we were going to do. I could tell our guys believed, and we knew we'd let some opportunities slip, obviously, to put those guys away, and you got to give them credit. They're a good team. They play hard. They're believing in themselves as well. And, as far as first place goes, it doesn't mean anything on November, 15th.
This felt like kind of a weird game with all the trading field goals at the start, kind of a slow start, and then the end, I don't know, kind of felt like it was on drugs. So what would you say, just like feel of this game? Like, what do you make of how it went?
Yeah, I that's kind of how I feel. It's a good way to describe it. Felt like it was some back and forth, both teams kind of sputtering at times, not putting it in the end zone, and then it went crazy at the end. And it's just nice to come out on top on a game that goes that way.
Let's wrap it up with the final four, please. Sierra and Kent, Richard and Josh.
You guys are on the right side of a close game. What does this do going into the shortened weekend with Seattle on Thursday?
It obviously gives us some confidence. We know it's going to be another dogfight on Thursday, and we got to get healthy and healed up quickly, and celebrate this one for a few hours tonight, and then get ready tomorrow, because it'll come fast. But our guys like playing when the spotlight is on us, and I'm excited about Thursday night.
There it is. That's Cliff Kingsbury, head coach of the Cardinals. As we hear from Hopkins when he steps to the podium, we will take that live. Kyler Murray as well. And we'll also hear from Josh Allen as soon as they speak to the media. But I want to ask you very quickly, Nink, when it comes to Kyler Murray, he now has 8 games this season with at least 1 passing touchdown and 1 rushing touchdown. It is a unique challenge to game plan for him. How do you attempt to do that if you're a defensive coach?
It's really hard. I mean, if you're over aggressive, he's able to get out of the pocket, and then you see what he can do with his legs. So it's a balance of making sure that you press him in the pocket and make him feel the pressure, but yet not running. He can get in and out, run for first yardage, and throw the ball down the field. So, I think Buffalo did a good job in the first half, and then they come out in the third quarter, and Arizona scores 17 points offensively. So it was kind of like a back and forth struggle. Josh Allen throws 2 interceptions. So, it was sloppy football at times. But at the end of the day, Kyler got it done. He was able to come up with that last play at the end of the game and won the game for his team.
I'm glad you mentioned the Bills, Tim, because I do want to go there for you. You're talking about a Bills team that felt like they needed to prove something. They do that last week against the Seahawks with an emphatic win against who we've described as one of the best teams in the NFC, and they are 11 seconds away from doing it again against another dominant NFC West team. How would you assess this game if you're the Bills right now?
Well, you're disappointed, obviously, but they played a pretty good football team, and they really had a very good chance to win. I think Rob brings up a really good point about how, the Bills played defensively, really, but for a period of the third quarter, they've done a really nice job on Kyler Murray, and we're really frustrating him. Playing a quarterback like that, unfortunately, if it's not for a full 4 quarters, he can really make you pay at some point in that football game. But they ended up getting stops late in that football game, multiple stops inside of 6 minutes to give that Bills offense a chance. And I think that still, going forward, if you give Josh Allen a chance late in a football game, look, he can be as dangerous as maybe any quarterback in the game because of just his physical ability, how hard he is to get down in the pocket. We saw that late in the game. And then his ability to still kind of test all areas of the field, no matter where you are, because of how strong his arm is. And that was evidenced on the touchdown pass that he throws to Stephon Diggs with just about 30 seconds left in the football game. So, look, it's disappointing. They're going to feel like, they let one get away here. But that's going to be a tough football team to play going forward. And I think especially if you're playing them in Buffalo.
There it is. Rob Ninkovich said they were going to look at the tape and they were going to hate themselves for what they saw. You know who won't? DeAndre Hopkins, who was the beneficiary of that ridiculous catch. His sound is new on SportsCenter.
Hoppy made a lot of impressive catches over the years. Where is this one going to rank right now?
This one is number 1. It was the winning game, no question, against a playoff opponent.
Hey, DeAndre, could you just kind of take us through a play like that? Is it just a question of I'm going down to the end zone and throw it up to me, or is there something more to it?
2 + 2 = 4. Go downfield, throw it up.
Hey, DeAndre, Cliff just said that you guys talked this week, kind of cleared the air. What were those conversations like, and what did you want him to know after last week?
That can be, dependent on in situations like that. That's all. It's a growing, offense. Even though I guess people have us statistically number 1, we still feel like we can be better. We have 3 losses, so we're just trying to get better. And communication is key. That's how you get to where you want to.
Next 3, we got Cam, Catherine, and Richard.
Hey, DeAndre, can you just take us through the play from your vantage point? What did you see? Did you see Kyler scrambling around back there? And what did you see when the ball was in the air?
I seen him scrambling around. I knew he was going to try to, hopefully I don't have COVID, but hopefully try to get us the ball. Will give me the ball, or one of the big guys downfield that can go up and pinpoint it. Larry, Dan, one of us. So I saw him back there, doing what he do, making guys miss, and I knew I needed to put myself in position, if it came my way. Thank you.
Thrilled to hear you don't have COVID. Have you seen replays of that play also yet, of the touchdown?
In basketball terminology, that's what they call this. When somebody get dunked on. But it was on 3 people. Yeah. It was they were in position. It was just a better catch by eye.
Yeah, DeAndre, when you guys win a game the way you guys won, I mean, this win wouldn't have happened if you wouldn't have not given up on the play. If Kyler would have not given up on the play to scramble to even get the opportunity to throw the ball. What does that do for this team's mentality moving forward, where no matter what the situation is, you guys can say, look, we've been here before and we've won games like this before?
Obviously we have a division opponent Thursday, so a win like this, it gives a team like us a lot of motivation, man. We're real hungry. We play with a lot of compassion on that field. I think a win like this, especially at the last minute, just kind of gives a team a boost, man. Let us know that we're always in it. Especially against a great team like the Bills, you can't take anything away from those guys.
Final three will go to
Josh.
Chase,
Thanks.
Catherine, and Greg, please.
So we just heard from the
Words
winner.
to
Here's
try to
Josh
describe
Allen,
how this
Bills
thing
quarterback, just sitting down to talk about the heartbreaking loss.
Just walk through what your whole take was on where it looks like it's a win, and how do you put it into words?
Yeah, obviously, losing's never fun. To lose like that, it's painful. It hurts. So you play 16 minutes of the game, and throughout the game, and I put the ball in harm's way too often, and it shouldn't have come down to one play. And I take this very personally, and the 2 interceptions can happen. You can't expect to win after turning the ball over, and it sucks going into the bye week because it's going to be the only thing on our mind for the next week and a half, 2 weeks. But I think it's also a good thing. It makes us hungry. You're not going to win every game, but to lose this one, how we did, it hurts. But at the same time, it's fuel on the fire.
Josh, can you, as everything you said, obviously, what you are accountable for as usual, but you did throw, that was a next level throw to Stefan to seemingly win it all. How are you're on the sideline after that now. In your mind, what level of confidence did you have that you got it done despite all what you overcame?
I have extreme amount of confidence in our defense, and just tell them to close the game out. And unfortunately, it comes down to one play. It's the game of football. It happens. But like I said, if I do my job better throughout the game, it doesn't come down to that one play.
Okay. Thank you, Josh.
Hey, Josh, Heather Prusek here. You kind of touched on it a little bit, but just how tough is it to, you guys don't have a game next week to try to bounce back, and you've got to sit on this now during the bye week?
Yeah, like I said, it's tough having a week off and knowing like this is the last time you've played or you're going to play for the next week or 2 weeks, really. But, a lot of good things to learn from on this tape. I think offensively, in that third quarter, we stalled a little bit, and we got to find ways to get going a little better. Too many punts. Like I said, two turnovers, and we can't do that. That first half, we had a pretty good thing going, moving the ball and putting some field goals up. And, again, at third quarter, late third quarter, early fourth quarter, we got to be better and find ways to move the ball, and, that's on me.
What is it about the third quarter of games? Because it seems like that's kind of been this team's Achilles heel, especially this season.
If I knew, I think it'd be better. But it's just game plan adjustments that the defense is making, and we got to find ways to figure it out faster. And it's myself and going and talking with the quarterbacks and Coach Dorsey on the sideline and figure out what they're trying to do. So I can have a better sense of what to do and how to get into our answers. I hate losing. I take things very personally. I could have been better for the team tonight, and it shouldn't have happened. It couldn't. The last play, like I said.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it.
All right, you're sort of hearing the frustration from Bills quarterback Josh Allen. He thought he had the game-winning touchdown with about 30 seconds left in the game to Stephon Diggs. Only the Cardinals counter with that last gasp touchdown to DeAndre Hopkins. As we say hi, hello, we're crossing the top of the hour here on SportsCenter. L. Duncan, Rob Ninkovich, Tim Hasselbeck joining you for the next 30 minutes to break down what turned out to be a crazy Week 10. I want to get your final thoughts before we move on what we saw from the Bills and Cardinals. I'll start with you, Tim.
Well, listen, I think when you hear Josh Allen talk about his frustration, Bills fans ought to be encouraged by that. You have one of the best quarterbacks in the game, young quarterbacks in the game, I should say, that, really at times carried his football team. And he's kind of shouldering the blame, even though there's probably some other blame to go around. I think this, though, for the Bills, I think they're a really good football team that's going to be tough for everybody the rest of the way. That being said, one of the ways you win football games, you run the football, especially when you have a lead. Josh Allen was the leading rusher for the Bills in this contest. That shouldn't happen. Yes, he's a good runner. That shouldn't happen. They need to get more production out of their running backs and their run game, especially when they're playing with a lead. In fact, if you look at previous seasons, that's really what Sean McDermott has done. That's been their formula to try to compete and stay in games before they were as explosive as they are on offense. Offense currently with Josh Allen as their starting quarterback. So I think the Buffalo Bills are a good team, but they need to find ways, to run the football more effectively, to win ugly at times. So what happens, tonight, doesn't happen again.
Yeah, they got away with it last week against the Seahawks because of their abysmal secondary. Didn't work so well today. What about you? Final thoughts on Bills Cards?
Well, I think that both of these teams have a chance to win their division and be in the playoffs, and they can make a lot of noise in the playoffs. And win and lose these games are really close. You're learning something. You're learning something about your team. Even in a Bills loss here, Josh Allen's going to watch the tape and say, look, I need to take care of the ball better. He threw 2 interceptions this game, probably could have been the difference here. And then you go on the other side of things in Arizona, they're watching their first half and saying, look, we need to play better in the first half. That'll put us in a position to not have to throw up a Hail Mary and win a football game. So during the season, it's a process. You're learning about your team, and both teams in this instance, in this case, are learning something about each other. Even though they lost, the Bills